It was October 11, 2014, around 9:45 p.m., and a motorist was cruising down Pump Station Road in Benton County, Arkansas. Out of nowhere, something huge darted across the road, bear-sized, gray, and moving impossibly fast. The driver nearly hit it. Fumbling with his phone, the driver dialed 911. However, this wasn't just a random call about a deer or a lost dog. State wildlife officers took it seriously enough to check it out. I'm Uncle Perry. I don't just tell stories, I dig up the fucked up ones most folks are too chicken shit to talk about. And I do it in a cavalier kind of way. When it comes to cryptids, I chase down the truth behind the legends. Today, we're going to explore the Ozark Howler. And I'm not talking about your sister half a fifth in on a Saturday night. Oh, hell yeah! It's post time, baby! It's time to crack a frosty one, kick your feet up, and let's get it! In the rolling hills and dense timber of the Ozark Mountains, legends dot the landscape as thick as the fog that drifts through the hollers after sunset. Among the persistent of these tales is the story of the Ozark Howler, a mysterious and tweaked-out looking creature that stalks the forests of northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and eastern Oklahoma. Over generations, its tripped-out wails and the dozens of reported sightings have woven themselves into local folklore. Even today, several residents speak of strange encounters with this creature long after it gets fucking dark o'clock. One particular episode in the fall of 2014 stands out because it wasn't just whispered around campfires or passed down in family stories. Instead, it entered the realm of official records in the state of Arkansas. According to call records from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, AGFC, an emergency call came in on October 11, 2014, from a motorist traveling along Pump Station Road in Benton County, near the city of Springdale. The caller reported a seriously fucked up encounter. Their vehicle nearly hit a large, fast-moving animal that had suddenly darted into the roadway. It was approximately 9:45 p.m. and it was dark as fuck. Headlights swept across the open road, illuminating only the brief silhouette of something massive, moving with exceptional speed before vanishing into the dense brush. The witness described it as bear-sized and gray, unlike any typical wildlife they had ever seen. The report was serious enough that state wildlife officers were dispatched to the area to investigate the sighting. That detail is noteworthy because the AGFC typically receives a shitload of calls about common animals, deer, bears, or the occasional lost pet, but it's rare for them to send officers out for an unidentified animal sighting that doesn't immediately present a clear danger. Yet, despite this documented call and the response by wildlife personnel, no publicly confirmed physical evidence, such as crystal fucking clear 8K photographs, a captured live specimen, or a carcass, resulted from the investigation. Without evidence, the AGFC has maintained that there is no verified proof that an unknown species or legendary creature was involved. Still, the recorded call itself remains part of the official record that stands as one of the few times an encounter with the Ozark Howler crossed over from folklore into documented emergency service history. What makes this encounter compelling isn't just the description of a large-ass unidentified animal, but the context in which it occurred. A driver startled in the dead of night. A rural road rimmed by thick woods, and the immediate concern that whatever crossed the asphalt could pose a danger to others. It's the kind of moment that can grab a man firmly by the nuts, make them question what they think they know about the natural world, and leave lasting anxiety about what the hell might be out there just past the headlights. Reports like these serve as anchor points for those who believe the Ozark Howler is more than just a myth, that possibly an undiscovered or extremely rare animal still roams the rugged interior highlands of America. And in many parts of the Ozarks, that kind of shit does exist. Yet, for believers and cryptid enthusiasts, the 2014 Benton County call is more than just a misidentified critter on a back road. It's a rare official record that aligns with the traditional descriptions of the Ozark Howler passed down through generations. A creature both feared and revered, woven into the cultural fabric of the Ozark region. It's a stark reminder that in some parts of the world, the boundary between legend and reality tends to get pretty fucking blurry. The Ozark Howler legend has been passed down for generations by locals who have heard shit they couldn't describe and have seen things that couldn't be classified as an animal that lives in the heart of the Ozark wilderness. People say it lives in dense forests, rocky bluffs, and hidden caves in the more remote backwoods parts of the Ozark Mountains. According to the lore, it stays elusive and is active at night. It's typically described as being around the size of a bear with a thick body, stocky legs, black shaggy fur, and having prominent horns. Most agree that it's either black or dark in color. Its cry is often described as being a combination of a wolf's howl and an elk's bugle. I'm gonna mix those sounds together and see what comes. I'm gonna mix those sounds together and see what that sounds like. Sightings have been officially recorded since the 1950s, though many Ozark families pass on stories of their parents and grandparents experiencing the chill of seeing the Ozark Howler way before that time. Locals sometimes call it the Ozark Black Howler, Nightshade Bear, or Devil Cat. The legend dates back more than 200 years. Some say it looks like a big-ass cat, while others see traits of a wild boar or even a horned creature. This mix of traits leads to debates about whether it's a misidentified cougar, a hybrid, or something else. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission has said that some reports match cougar sightings. Cougars are rare but do appear in the region. Unfamiliar animal sounds at night can also fuck with your head. Fog, thick forests, and echoing valleys can change how both sights and sounds are recognized. Many describe a long, creepy howl that travels across the valleys. Some witnesses report a short, choppy laugh, like a hyena's laugh. People hear this less often than the howl, usually in dense forests or near rocky bluffs. The laugh comes as quick, high-pitched yelps that may stop suddenly. Sometimes it follows a howl, which can startle listeners and make toilet paper a valuable commodity. The howl, as you might expect, is the hallmark of the Ozark Howler. Its sound has been described as very deep and guttural, as well as a high-pitched howl. Others have said that it's the most unearthly scream and half-human. One of the most common descriptions of the sound is like the screams of a woman. Those who have heard the screams pierce the night never forget the chill that ran up their spine and the feeling of dread that washed over them. Daniel Boone saw it first. One of the earliest weird-ass stories tied to the Ozark Howler goes way the fuck back to Daniel Boone stomping around the Ozarks with a rifle on his shoulder in the early 1800s. Folks in this part of the country loved to shoot the shit around the fire, and Boone was the legendary woodsman, the kind of guy people assumed knew how to handle himself with a gun. This is how it went. Boone ran into a huge, dark animal out in the woods that didn't look like any damn critter he'd ever seen. The fucking thing was unlike a bear, cat, or anything else known out there. But old Dan said, "Fuck it," and took a shot at it anyway. Word spread fast, and people ate that shit up. A badass frontiersman, eyeballing something unexplainable, just popped a cap in this weird fucking thing. Whether you believe in it or not, that's how the Ozark Howler got its first whisper in the woods around there. At roughly the same time as the Crawford County sightings, similar reports originated from across the border in eastern Oklahoma. Those sightings revolved around large, dark cats seen moving through the mountains. Other reports from near Dardanelle in the Arkansas River Valley described strange sounds in the night, similar to the laugh or bark of a hyena. From higher elevations, several witnesses reported seeing what they described as a large, stocky cat. Hunting trip gone wrong. August 24th, 1998, southern Missouri. Two hunters are out in the woods just trying to bag a fucking deer. Night's creeping in and the forest is quiet. Way too fucking quiet. Then one of them spots it. A massive, dark shape slinking through the trees. Not a goddamn deer. Not a bear. Something way bigger. Something wrong. Its eyes fucking glowing red, like the devil himself was watching them. Both hunters freeze, rifles raised, hearts pounding hard, solidly bricking it. The creature doesn't hesitate. It moves with this crazy feline speed, silent except for the crunch of leaves under its massive paws. They swear it was easily 10 feet long, sleek and shadowy, like it belonged in some nightmare. One wrong move and it'd have them for lunch. They booked it the hell out of there, but that sighting, it's still one of the most chilling Ozark Howler encounters on record. Shadow Spy. July 12, 2007, near Batesville, Arkansas. A group of campers settled in for the night, expecting the usual sounds of the woods. Crickets chirping, leaves shifting, maybe a distant coyote. Normal shit. But sometime after dark, the whole vibe changed. From somewhere beyond the firelight came a sound that didn't belong. A deep, drawn-out howl that didn't match any damn animal they knew. Not a wolf, not a coyote. Something heavier, rougher, completely wrong. The howls kept echoing through the trees, bouncing through the hills like the forest itself was was warning them to pack their shit and get the fuck out of there. One of them finally spotted movement at the tree line, just outside the glow of the campfire. A tall, shadowy figure standing perfectly still, watching. No clear shape, no obvious features, just a dark mass where nothing should have been. Nobody volunteered to check it out. They were like, fuck that noise. I would have done it. Eventually. But whatever was out there didn't step into the light, and the howling didn't stop until long after the fire burned low. They spent the rest of the night holed up in their tents, completely terrified, jumping at every snap of a twig. The next morning, curiosity got the better of them. At the spot where the creature had been standing, they found dark hair tangled in the briars and strange, unfamiliar footprints pressed deep in the mud, as if whatever made them had been standing there for a long time, quietly watching, waiting. Springfield Outsider. March 14, 2015, Springfield, Missouri. A local resident stepped outside one night after hearing something moving around near the edge of the property. He figured it was a raccoon knocking shit over, or maybe a stray dog digging through trash. Nothing unusual for that part of Missouri. But the second the porch light clicked on, something out in the darkness shifted. And it definitely wasn't a goddamn raccoon. Standing on top of the hill was a large, strange, cat-like animal. Big. Too fucking big. Its body looked lean but powerful. The silhouette was tense, like it was ready to bolt at any second. But what really didn't sit right were the horns. Curled, dark shapes protruding from the head where there should be nothing but ears. The animal didn't growl, didn't move, just stood there, staring. The witness slowly pulled out their phone, hands shaking, and managed to snap a photo before the creature suddenly jerked its head and bounced off into the darkness with quick, deliberate steps. No crashing through brush, no obvious panic, just controlled movement, like it didn't give a fuck about nothing. The image, later shared online, appeared to show a horned, cat-like figure partially obscured by the shadow. Some called it straight up bullshit. Others weren't so sure. The proportions looked wrong. Whatever that thing was, it didn't look like any normal animal known to roam Missouri. That's no deer. September 2nd, 2020, eastern Oklahoma. Just before sunrise, a deer hunter named Howard sat tucked against a tree, watching a quiet game trail cut through the woods. The forest was still. That heavy kind of silence where every snap of a twig makes you want to shit. After nearly an hour of absolutely nothing, movement finally caught his eye. But it wasn't a deer stepping into the clearing. A large, black shape pushed through the bush, slow at first, then steady. The thing was massive, easily bear-sized, but the body didn't quite move like a bear. The back seemed longer, the shoulders too high, the tail short and thick. It paused in the open, lifting its head, scanning. Something about the way it carried itself just felt wrong. Too focused, too aware. Howard shifted slightly, and the creature reacted instantly, turning in his direction. That's when instinct kicked in. He didn't wait to figure out what the hell he was looking at. He moved, fast. Branches snapped under his boots as he pushed through the trees, heart hammering. Behind him, a deep guttural howl tore through the woods. Then another, and another. It wasn't random noise. It sounded like pursuit. Bursting through the brush, Howard nearly ran straight into two other hunters. Breathless, he told them something was chasing him. Both men turned toward the noise and raised their rifles. The black shape appeared between the trees. They fired almost simultaneously. The shots cracked through the morning air. They reloaded quickly. The creature stopped short, as if realizing it had seriously fucked up, then turned and disappeared back into the forest. Skeptical explanations. All right, before we dive any deeper into the spooky shit, let's talk about skeptics. And trust me, they're loud as hell about it. A lot of folks insist the Ozark Howler isn't some horned, red-eyed nightmare. No! It's just normal wildlife doing normal wildlife shit. According to them, most sightings boil down to misidentifications. And honestly, in the Ozarks, that's not hard to imagine. You've got black bears, big bobcats, and even the occasional mountain lion fucking around. Catch one in low light, half hidden behind the trees, and your brain's gonna be shitting itself. Skeptics love pointing out that a bear standing upright can look way bigger and way stranger than you'd expect. And bobcats? Smaller, sure, but their screams can sound downright unholy if you've never heard one before. Some hunters swear they've heard the howler's demonic howl, while skeptics chalk it up to the Ozark's natural acoustics, turning ordinary animal calls into fucking death mantras. Then there's the folklore argument. Some say it's just a campfire story blown up over generations. Others point to hoaxes. And, of course, the classic, maybe it's just a feral dog or oversized hound wandering where it shouldn't. So, depending on who you ask, the Ozark Howler is either a legendary beast or Mother Nature fucking with your eyes. Believer explanations. So here's where shit gets interesting. The believers. These folks aren't sitting on their couches with their finger up their ass and their mind in Tokyo. These are hunters, lifelong Ozarks residents, and cryptid hunters who swear they've heard or seen something out there that doesn't fit any goddamn normal animal. First off, consistent witness descriptions are a huge part of why believers don't just fuck off everything as a bear or a big pat. First off, consistent witness descriptions are a huge part of why believers don't just fuck off everything as a bear or a big cat. People out in the woods say they've seen something bear-sized with shaggy fur, glowing red eyes, and horns jutting out of its skull. Traits that flat out don't match black bears, mountain lions, or bobcats. Then there's the damn howl, and this is where the believers get obsessed. They describe it as a crazy mix of screaming, almost human-like wail that carries for miles through the hollers. Locals who've grown up around normal wildlife noises will tell you straight the fuck up, they've heard elk, they've heard coyotes, they've heard screaming foxes, And this was nothing like those. Some believers even go deeper than your mom, talking about parallels with old European and Native American legends like ancient black dogs or otherworldly forest spirits, suggesting the howler might be something old as hell that never got cataloged by science. Could be. It wouldn't be the first time. And then there's the cryptozoology crowd who toss out wild but ass-stomping ideas. Maybe it's an undiscovered species, a hybrid, or even a survivor of a prehistoric predator that somehow hung on in the deep Ozark wilderness. Sightings being spread out over decades and from people who aren't just imagining shit keeps believers completely convinced there's something real flapping around out there. No carcass, no bones, no fucking DNA. Yet. But the people who swear they heard that nightmare howl through the dark hills don't think it's folklore anymore. To them, the Ozark Howler isn't just a story. It's something real. It's something out there waiting in the shadows. So yeah, that's the Ozark Howler, a horned, red-eyed nightmare that's been creeping through the woods for centuries. Or at least as long as people have been fucking dumb enough to wander into the hollers at night. Some say it's just a bear or a cougar. Others swear it's something older, something that shouldn't exist. And honestly, after everything you've heard tonight, can you really say you're sure? People keep running into this goddamn thing. Hunters, campers, motorists, even legendary frontiersman and distant relative Daniel Boone had a run-in with it. And every fucking time it leaves the same signature. Red eyes, massive dark shape, the kind of howl that massively increases your pucker factor. You hear it once and it never leaves your head. The scary part? You don't need to believe it exists to be terrified. Because whether it's real, a trick of the light, or some twisted Ozark legend coming alive, the woods don't give a shit about your skepticism. And the next time you're out there walking alone under the pines at night, maybe you'll hear it too. That long, fucked up howl slicing through the dark. Maybe you'll see the shadow of something way bigger than it should be. And maybe, just maybe, it'll come out to play. Do you like weird-ass monsters? Then tap that like button and subscribe. That way, you won't miss out on more of my fucked up commentary. And besides, I really do appreciate it. Is the Ozark Howler a bear, a mountain lion, or something completely different? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're ready to crank that shit all the way up to 11, that join button's got your name on it. For just $2.99, you can have my back in a huge way. Until next time, y'all keep it real, keep it chill, and stay creepy! Catch you on the flip. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. You are the real beast.